the energy he brought, right? He wasn't the hero, and I think that's what I like about it the most.
Yeah.
Like he's just the fucker that's along for the ride, and he doesn't really know how to keep his mouth shut.
And who do we not want to help us?
White people. I love it. Those kids are so cute in that movie. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of Back to the Podcast with your host, Justin Neal. And of course, I'm Chris Lawler. Our mission every week is to create an entertaining cinema-centric discussion about the past, present, and future of all things revolving around entertainment. Please don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe on wherever you consume your content. And I just want to say thank you to everyone out there for listening and watching. This week has been a lot of fun. Everybody has been hyped up, obviously, with the strike and leading up to Barbenheimer this week. Justin, I know you got out there and saw that. Please enlighten us, man. How was it? I didn't get a chance to make it out of the house this weekend, but please, was it worth the hype? Was this the Summer Blockbuster event you were waiting for?
It actually was.
That's awesome.
For once, I was not disappointed.
Okay.
In fact, I think this is the most natural-born double feature I can think of.
Do you think that they were thinking of that as in their marketing?
No.
You think it's just a happy accident?
The universe gave us Barbenheimer. I don't know if we should be allowed to watch one without the other moving forward sort of thing. But it's so wild how they are both. And I mentioned this on, the episode a couple of weeks ago, which is they're both existential crisis movies.
Okay.
They're just completely different. Made by two
totally different people.
very talented filmmakers at their moment.
Okay.
The movies are so different, but they are both firing on all cylinders. And my favorite thing about both of them, though, was the screenplays.
Oh, yeah?
The scripts are so good. I think that they are both going to be nominated. Oppenheimer will be Best Adapted Screenplay because it's adapted from a book.
Oh, okay.
And then Barbie, I don't think it can be adapted. It's got to be original, best original.
It feels like it is, right? I mean,
yeah.
Well, without any spoilers, man. Going back to our double features, what'd you see first and how did it go down?
I had to split it between 2 days because of logistics.
Okay.
But the way I played it was I went and saw Oppenheimer Friday at 11:30 in IMAX.
Nice.
And then last night, my wife and I went and saw Barbie.
Okay.
So when I sat down to see Oppenheimer, I was in a really good spot to do that. I knew exactly what I was getting into. It's a 3-hour movie, so I got really comfortable and was like, okay, I'm just going to let this be. And when Cillian Murphy, who I've known since 28 Days Later, which was his sort of international debut over 20 years ago, I remember seeing that in the theater. I've followed his career ever since, essentially.
Yeah.
And when he came on screen and he started speaking, I thought, best actor right there.
Yeah. A lot of people have been talking him up for sure. And, it's always hard. Is it just the hype of the movie? Actors love praising their fellow cast members and stuff like that. You see that in the press, but there has been a lot of buzz around that. And obviously a lot of buzz around Nolan. And this is his best picture ever. Now, they also say that a lot when the presses come out. This is the best one ever.
I think they've said that about most of his movies up until this point.
Yeah, exactly. They really have.
Which is impressive on its own. I mean, there's glad handing and back patting, and then there's he's just fucking talented.
Is this the masterpiece then?
I don't think it's the masterpiece.
Not the masterpiece. Okay.
But I think it is a biopic masterpiece.
Well, that's a good thing to say. I do like biopics, especially when they're done well. So if that's really what he does here, then that's very exciting.
High tension, the whole movie. It's hard to do 3 hours of
tension.
But they try.
That's intense.
Like Dunkirk, they use the ticking clock. I don't know if you notice as part of the soundtrack, Hans Zimmer, he does this whole thing to where, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a music theory. I know the music people out there will be like, Justin, it's called this.
Chime in, please. Comment below. Let us know what we're missing here.
Yeah. But it's a way of rising that never ends. And it's a mathematics thing, because all of music is mathematics.
He loves that stuff. I mean, he loves palindromes, and he loves all kinds of things that like interweave back on themselves. I mean, Interstellar was, the meeting of science and math with a little bit of like love and like, Interstellar. I feel like I'm going down the rabbit hole already.
I would call Oppenheimer a prestige film. It is the definition of what they call a prestige film. Everything about the production is A-level. The cast across the board, the script, all the characters, and this is the type of thing actors love. All the characters are flawed. They're all like hypocrites, and they're not all good people. You know what I mean? Like none of this is about
heroes.
Okay. It was about nerds.
That almost killed everybody.
Mostly German scientists, fueled by American money, built a weapon of mass destruction, and that's what it's ultimately about. And it is not you don't leave the movie feeling like, good about that. Actually, neither movie, Barbie or Oppenheimer, do you feel particularly...
You'd think Barbie would have at least turned it around at the end.
Barbie more so, but we'll get to that. This is the thing. Everything about Oppenheimer screams Academy Awards.
You think it could sweep like 11 different categories then?
Talent's going to go big. Robert Downey Jr.,
okay.
Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt will be nominated, but she won't win. Nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. Nolan, I think this has the potential to give him Best Director this year.
Finally.
And it will absolutely be nominated for Best Picture, but who knows what's going to win on that front.
Okay. Well, then looking back on his whole, filmography, what do you still hold in the highest regard of Nolan's movies then?
Well, do you mean in craft or personal? Because it's two different things.
Doesn't even matter, man.
The craft in this one actually reminds me...
Because you said this one wasn't his best, so what do you think?
Well, I would say this is the thing. It's a biopic, so it's actually pretty subdued in terms of what you think of like...
For a Nolan movie.
Spectacle.
Oh, okay.
There's very little spectacle other than, like the Trinity test, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So other than them making like...
They did that practically. I don't know if you knew that.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. As you would imagine. Anyway, I think that was good, but my favorite...
Yeah, you got to answer. Just cough it up, man. It's the it's the Dark Knight. Which one is it?
The two I'm most likely to put on, which is probably the real answer to what you're looking for. The two that I'm most likely to put on are The Prestige and Inception.
Love The Prestige, man. I do really enjoy that one. On many levels, obviously. And it hasn't even been that long since I watched it, and I'm already like nostalgic for it again.
Someone recently said they hadn't seen it because they knew the twist. And I said, that is almost irrelevant.
It really is, actually. It really is, honestly. Even if someone had told me the ending, I'd be like, well, I got to go figure that out or see that. Because
you still have to unpack it.
You still have to unravel that whole thing. It's quite the mystery.
You might have the key, but you still got to do some work yourself.
And it's so well shot. And the costumes and just the whole vibe of that thing. And
absolutely.
Michael Caine is amazing in it.
Pigman is trying to prove the Caine-Hackman theory.
I know we're going down a rabbit hole, but yeah, no, you nailed it. Prestige. I love it when they take it a little bit in a different direction with the way that they tell their stories and stuff like that. I mean, even Ang Lee has got an interesting way of telling his stories and stuff. He's not necessarily my favorite director, but I've always appreciated his style.
Yeah, Ang Lee is someone recently who's gone down like a technology wormhole, shooting in super high frame rates and stuff like that's kind of been his deal recently. What was the one with Will Smith where he plays the young and the old assassin version of himself?
I can't even remember.
They shot it at high frame rate.
Gemini Man, wasn't that it?
Yeah.
Did I get it?
It is Gemini Man, well played. It's an interesting aesthetic, shooting at super high frame rates, because it makes it look like you're looking more through a window than at a movie screen, which can be interesting, but it can also be really bad. Like, I remember seeing when Pete Jackson put out The Hobbit, the first one, An Unexpected Journey, in 60 frames per second, and me and a group of friends went and saw that.
Yeah.
And yes, it looked like you were looking through a window. Unfortunately, what you were looking at was people in costumes and with a beard glued on and shit like that.
The Hobbit did not look well.
The only time I've seen that really well done was in the new Avatar movie, because it can help with 3D.
Keeping it it smooth.
Yeah, exactly. It's a technology thing.
For sure. I still haven't seen that new Avatar. It's streaming now. I've been wanting to check it out, but I mean, the first one really wasn't my bag. So it's like,
Sure.
I don't even know why I would want to jump into the sequel other than.
I think Way of Water is going to play better 20 years from now than it does now. And not because the technology will age better. I think it'll make more sense once all the movies are out. You know what I mean? To me, it feels like, okay, this is a stop on the tour.
Once again, yeah.
So that's the thing with the first one, like he goes for broke. So with this one, he dials it back a bit.
Because he knows there's another one coming. But that's been the problem with so many of these two-parters or trilogies, is that the second one, it's like, well, why does this even exist if it's just almost a placeholder to really get to the final destination thing?
They're thinking about their legacy.
Yeah. But like they started doing that with the Harry Potter stuff. They were like, well, let's do the finale as a two-parter. Why? Why? Oh, yeah, money.
I think that argument is probably accurate on a lot of levels, but I think there is a counter argument.
I'd love to hear it. I would love to hear how you're going to justify that.
I would say that they needed to be split into two movies starting with book 3.
Instead of shrinking them.
Don't make it shorter and cut shit. Make them all longer because the books are so rich. That's my problem with those movies, is that there's not enough book. I want to have 2 parts for all of them, except for the Chris Columbus.
That's the book snob in you coming out.
It is. And actually, that's something that we should talk about is adaptations.
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yes! I just won that bet with myself.
Yeah. The last book that I ever read that was a movie adaptation was The Lost World. That was a long time ago.
That was like 1995.
Yeah, probably around there. Yeah. The movie still hadn't come out yet. I knew that they were working on it when I read the book.
Hot damn.
Yeah. So that was like the last one that I read that was turned into a movie. I don't really do that. I would much rather see the movie.
I understand.
I'm so sorry to say that.
Don't apologize.
That does, take me back. The Lost World was a very violent story, and that movie was stupidly tame compared to what was in that book. You know, I enjoyed the violence in that book and stuff like that, and all the scares and the tension and stuff. There was only a couple of good moments in that Lost World movie, in my opinion.
Talk about a cash grab.
It did its own thing, and that's fine. The original's the original, and I love it to death.
It's hard to follow that one up. I think the sequel was almost doomed. Like, it can't be as good. It's kind of a footnote in his body of work.
Like, the thing that always cracks me up about The Lost World is, what the hell happened to Vince Vaughn?
Is that never resolved?
He's never just brought back on screen. He's never considered deceased or dead or killed in any way. His character just vanishes.
That was probably cut for time.
Who knows what it was?
He's probably on the cutting room floor.
They made such a big deal about him because he was so hot at the time. Do you remember that? He was hot off of Swingers.
Swingers.
That was like his first big thing after Swingers, was getting into working with Steven Spielberg on Jurassic Park.
So going back to, I finished Oppenheimer. Then last night, she and I went and saw Barbie.
Yeah.
It is a awesome satire.
Okay, cool. Awesome. There we go.
It is a total satire.
I was wondering. So good satire. I can't wait, man.
And in that, like, they really turn on a flashlight and pointed at some things that, in a way that people aren't doing right now. And I was so impressed with that from a script point of view. And we had talked about this when I heard that Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach got a hold of the project. It was like, well, this is going to be something different. They can't not make it something different. They're too weird.
Okay.
I was like, I want to see what kind of weird they go for. And it is
everything you would hope for.
Big billboard against the patriarchy. And I was sitting there going, this is fucking awesome. Like, I love that they're doing this because no one else is saying something. That's one of the things that I love about satire. And I love that they did this.
Okay.
I am so proud of you guys for...
So they went for it, and it was exactly as like eccentric and weird as you were hoping for. Family movie then? Or is this more geared towards the adult genre then?
This is one thing that we thought was interesting. So there were a lot of younger people.
I assume so.
A younger female audience, and we were all laughing at the same thing, but we were laughing for different reasons.
Really? Okay.
And they're all giggling, going, this is so funny, but they don't even realize how on the nose this stuff really is. That's the point. When they get older, those people are going to rewatch this movie and realize that, Oh, that's what they were saying.
That's what they were doing. Oh.
So that's what makes it so good, is that it plays on a movie level on its own, but there's so much more going on.
Yeah.
Not even below the surface. You know what I mean? Like, it's that good mixture, and that's what satire does. It's funny and it plays as a movie, but it's also saying a lot that other people aren't saying. And I love that. I love that.
Dang, I'm jealous, man. It sounds like you got to step out and see some amazing blockbusters, but I appreciate you not ruining anything from either one of those, except for the fact that they are amazing and I can't wait to see them myself. So I wonder if anyone else stepped out this weekend and happened to go and do the double feature.
I'm glad that we were a part of it. Like, this is a thing. 2023 is Barbenheimer year.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to tell you something that blew me away.
Did you see something good?
There should have been a camera on my face. It was a trailer.
What?
It started off with like, oh, what is this? Oh, it's a possession movie. Oh, that's cool. Whatever. Da, 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 da. And I'm kind of half paying attention, and possession. 2 girls disappear. They come back. Oh,
Okay.
obviously something's wrong. And then a music cue happened.
Yeah.
And it immediately shifted gears. And it was like, no fucking way.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Is it going to be Saw 10? What is it?
The Exorcist.
Oh, that is, I've been seeing that. What's this new one called again?
It's called Believer.
Yes, I did see that pop up online the other day. So I don't know if the trailer was there, but I did see that like it's coming out or something like that. I didn't grow up with The Exorcist, man, and I saw that one later in life, and I don't get it.
And they use a trick from the original trailer, which I love. It does this thing where it flashes this white face, and it's fucking creepy. Yeah, and they reuse that technique at the end of the new trailer. It was fantastic.
Now, I'm glad you're excited for it, but The Exorcist, yeah, it didn't really do much for me. I mean, I was a bigger fan of Repossessed, which was the parody of...
It's
Yeah.
the spoof?
Yeah,
What
there's a
year did it,
spoof-
did it come out? Like a lot later or at the time?
No, it was definitely later. Repossessed starred Leslie Nielsen.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You never saw that one. Yeah, the Repossessed film was 1990. And that definitely sounds right now that I just pulled it up over here. So Repossessed,
Can't say I
yeah.
really like Leslie Nielsen's comedies. It's the spoof, man. It's the spoof thing. Dracula Dead and Loving It. Oh.
Well, see, now that one wasn't the good one, man. See, so if you're starting there...
No, I started with like Airplane.
Oh, yeah, Airplane was the shit, yeah. But you know, the thing with Leslie Nielsen was that he was this huge dramatic actor that just one day started doing comedies like that and just completely played against his stereotype that he had been building up in Hollywood for 50 years.
I can appreciate that.
That was it. And then he just went out on this other kind of note, completely far removed from where he started.
And that's all I think of, which maybe he loves that idea. And you know what? If that's what you wanted, Leslie Nielsen, good on you. You succeeded.
You know, from what I heard, he was just a very funny dude, you know, very personable, and playing all those dramatic roles wasn't it. But for me, yeah, Airplane, obviously. But
I wonder if this would work. Check this out. A spoof is making fun of something that's dramatic. What if you made a drama of a spoof that's based on a drama?
One more time. A spoof of a drama that's based on a spoof? Is that what you said?
No, it's a drama based on a spoof of a drama.
Like the dramatic behind the scenes happening?
No, it would be more like you're playing telephone.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You could almost compare and contrast the first two.
So it would be a dramatic interpretation of a comedic interpretation of a drama.
Yes.
Is what you mean to say.
That's exactly what I mean.
That sounds like quite the experiment.
That's high concept.
That's something like some college kid would have to do for it.
That's some art school shit. Sounds like something I would have done.
Right.
Just as like an experiment. And everyone in class would have been like, what is Justin doing? And I'm like, creating art.
You don't understand my art, guys. You just don't understand.
I don't feel the need to explain my art to you, Warren.
Damn the man. Save the empire.
Save the empire. So this is what's so interesting about Barbie is I think Barbie is going to be a huge hit. That's a total cult movie. Does that make sense? It's a cult art house movie that's totally projected and marketed as like a big screen blockbuster.
But can it be a cult thing when everyone goes to see it, though?
No, so it can't be a cult movie, but it's doing this awesome hybrid of a cult movie that makes money.
That's what you think, is that they made a cult movie.
Maybe a little too smart for its own good. You know what I mean? Multi-layered, high concept. It's a high concept movie, which should, by all, rights, be a total kind of art house experiment. It's a summer blockbuster movie made by art house people. Sneaking an art house movie into a summer blockbuster is genius, and I love it.
You seem to really enjoy Barbie.
It's a dark comedy with a smile.
That's part of it, right? So by using Barbie that's always glittery and shiny and happy and new, right? That like, hey, let's talk about these dark subject matters using
It's
that.
sabotage. I love it. It's subversive. It's a subversive movie.
Right.
It's so smart to do that. To use Barbie as the vehicle to do that. It makes me so proud for them.
Well, then that wraps it up, man. You've definitely sold me on it. But I wonder, did anyone else in our community go and check it out? What did you guys think? Did you see Oppenheimer? Did you see Barbie? Did you see both of them together? Did you go do a double feature? Definitely comment below and let us know what you thought about those. And of course, what you guys might be going to see next week. There's plenty more movies coming out this summer, even though the writer's strike and the actor's strike is still going on. We definitely stand firm with the writers and the actors. We definitely want them to get their wages and everything like that, and hope that that comes to a conclusion soon.
Damn the man. Save the empire.
Save the empire. Yeah. Well, then right on, man. This was another fun trip. I mean, I know we got to hear more from your side this week. That means I'm going to have to step my game up this next week for sure. So I guess let us know what you guys would like to see on the show and stuff, what you guys would like us to talk about. We've got plenty of topics. There's so much cinema history to go into and so much cinema future to talk about too. There's a lot of crazy things. I know we don't really cover Comic-Con, but that is going on right now.
The nerds are out in force.
Yeah. So there might be a lot of cool stuff to be talking about this next week. So I guess thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.